Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. How are you doing today? Let's see. Make sure I've got my chat ready to go. Hi from the UK. Oh, we've got several people from the UK. 3 people from the UK so far this morning. I love that. Hi from South Africa. Hi, so glad to have you here joining me in New York City. How is everyone today? I'm going to type into the chat. It's not actually morning because it's noon, but that's okay. Toaster's here with me today. We're going to be talking about the Cozy Up Challenge, and I'll explain it in just a minute. I want to give everyone a chance to join in and be live and everything. Hi from Michigan. Is MI Michigan? I always get the M states confused because there's so many of them, but I think that's Michigan. Hi from Ontario, Canada. Hi from Belgium. Hi from California. It is morning still in California, so good morning to you and good evening to our friends over the seas and across the world. I'm drinking coffee still this morning. Yesterday I was drinking coffee until like 6, like my same coffee that I put in my 16-ounce mug the whole day. Another person from the UK. Christy says hello from Boring, Illinois. Or is it boring there in Illinois right now? I'm sorry. Hi from Poland. Wow, we have people from all over the world. This is so cool. Okay, good. I got it right. MI is Michigan. I have to hydrate today. I have to hydrate every day, but hi from Salt Lake City, Utah. Kim, are you looking out for the Real Housewives in Salt Lake City? I'm teasing. I have been obsessed with watching the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and of Dallas lately, and I'm having so much fun with those. They're so silly. Hey from Belgium, hi. Hi from the UK, it's 5 p.m. here, so the start of the weekend. Yay, happy weekend to you, Sarah. Hi from Missouri. Hi from is it Grand Prairie or Grande Prairie, Alberta? I'm gonna guess it's Grand or Grand Prairie. You know, where I lived in Texas was called Grand Prairie, no E on the end, Grand Prairie. Oh, Illinois is boring because I can't say South Africa or somewhere cool. I know, right? Hey from Denmark and Germany. This is so awesome. Hey, Melanie, you're my neighbor. Hi from upstate New York, where the roads are dirt and there's sheep in my backyard. I know, right? There's all kinds of different places in New York. It's so cool. Hi from northern Vermont. Ooh, I love that. Hi from South Carolina. Hi, Anne. Well, I'm so glad to have all of y'all here today. Thank you for bearing with me. This was supposed to go live on Wednesday, but on Wednesday, Verizon decided to call it quits, and our entire building lost Wi-Fi. Everyone who had Verizon lost Wi-Fi. So I couldn't go live because I couldn't be up here in the apartment. And they said it was going to come back like middle of the night, like basically early Thursday morning. So I was like, well, let's not do it Thursday either, just in case. And so here we are. It's a Friday, but I feel like that's a good day to have a cast on party, or if you've already cast on a cozy, that's totally fine too. So let me explain a little bit about what this challenge is. So this is not my make along, at least on my own. I'm kind of co-hosting this. So if you don't already follow Jen, she's Boston Jen 1 on Instagram, and I've linked her website into the description box of this video. But she has the Downseller Studio podcast. I was going to say audio podcast, and then I said patio, and then I just said potty. So that's great. This is what you get for live stuff. But anyway, she has an audio podcast, also known as a patio. No, it's not actually known as a patio, but it should be. And I think I started listening to her. I think she was one of the first knitting podcasts that I listened to, and I would listen to it I think she posts every 2 weeks on my way to work and on my way home from work, and it was so nice. But she hosts all kinds of make-alongs, and this make-along, the Cozy Up Challenge, is actually just a segment of a bigger make-along called the Pigskin Party. So all the details on that are linked in the description box. And yeah, patio, we like that, right? And the Pigskin Party started at the start of football season, which was, I think, early September, if not late August. And then it goes through February, the Super Bowl. Forgot what that was called for a second. It goes through the Super Bowl, and you can find all the details on her Ravelry group and her website. And again, all those links are down below. And basically you are knitting and crocheting different projects, and you count your yardage, and there's all these like point totals. I have never been a proper participant because I am terrible at make-alongs, and I say that I'm gonna do them, and then I just end up like knitting the thing on the side and not actually submitting my stuff for prizes. But you should, because it's a really great make-along to get you starting and finishing things, and anything counts. But there are these smaller make-alongs throughout, and that's what the Cozy Up Challenge is. So each month there's a new Interception, which is a bonus challenge, and this month's is mine, so I'm co-hosting it with Jen, and we are calling it the Cozy Up Challenge. So essentially, you can do any cozy that you want, any knit or crochet cozy, and define cozy for yourself, because to me, a cozy is something that's made to go around an inanimate object. It is not something to be worn. So like, if you wanted to knit a sweater, which is way more work than a cozy, you couldn't be like, this is a human cozy. I mean, I guess it is, but you're not an inanimate object. So, something that goes around a cup, a mug, a teapot, a plant holder. Ow, my earring just got caught in my shawl. I don't know, the possibilities are endless. I'm going to show you some of the cozy patterns that I have today, but it does not need to be my cozy pattern. It can be any cozy pattern. So we're going to kind of talk about the cozies today, and I'm going to show you a couple tips for my cozies in particular. So all the patterns for my cozies are also linked in the description box. They're all paid for patterns, but I am going to give you some little tips today for them, although I'm not going to go through the entire pattern. So let me get comfortable. I'm gonna sit crisscross. I think, did that explain it? Does that make sense, what we're here for? We're here to cast on our cozies and, chat, answer questions, and I'm gonna give some tips. I'm also going to give away a few of my yarn cozy bundles, so stay tuned for that. We'll kind of do that throughout. Actually, what the heck? Let's give away one right now. Let's see. What do I want to have you tell me? Actually, let's just make this really easy for me and for you, because you don't have to come up with an answer. If you would like the Yarn Cozy Bundle, which I will explain, that is the regular size Yarn Cozy and the mini Yarn Cozies. Oops, I have all these. I'm going to show them in more detail in a second. If you would like to win one of those, please put your Ravelry name in the chat right now. I'll give you like 1 minute to do that, and then I'm going to pick one person at random, and we're just going to do this a few times throughout the live today, and I will give away some patterns. Let's see, while I catch up on the chat. Okay, Grand Prairie is pronounced the same as Grand Prairie in Texas. Nice. We've got somebody else from New York, somebody from Miami, West Virginia, South Africa, so cool. Michigan. Let's see. Illinois sounds plenty cool for someone who's lived in the Netherlands most of her life. See, there you go. Hey, from New Jersey, baking Christmas cookies. Oh, yum, that's so fun. That could catch on, a patio. Hey, from Italy, I love it. Ooh, or a patio for toaster. Yes, I love that. That's so funny. Valerie said, I just recently made my first cozy from your pattern and I love it. Yay, that makes me so happy. Okay, I see lots of people's Ravelry usernames, so I'm going to randomly scroll and choose one of you, and I'm going to send it to you like right this second. That way, it's done. And I don't have to remember after the podcast, okay? My eyes were closed, and okay, now hold on 1 second. Okay, and the winner of our first, can I copy this? Why don't you let me copy it? There we go. The first winner of today, we're probably gonna do about 3 of these. You are going to win the Yarn Cozy bundle is Hannah. Hannah Kilday. So I'm gonna send you that right now, Hannah. Check your Ravelry, and you should see the Yarn Cozy bundle pattern. All right, so if you didn't win just now, we're gonna do it again, so stay tuned. Hey, Claudia from Peru. So great to have you here today. All right, I wanted to show a couple of the different, oh, you know what? Darn it, I meant to grab my can and bottle cozies. Let me see if Kent can bring them in. Let me just ask him real quick. Oh my gosh. I totally thought I had everything prepped and ready, and I forgot that. Let's see. Okay. Hopefully Kent can come to our rescue. If not, I might have to run and grab them. But I wanted to show you the yarn cozies, okay? So, I guess from the beginning here, I used to purchase yarn cozies because, like the stretchy fabric ones, and they are fabulous because when you are pulling yarn from a cake, when you're like pulling from the center like this, what happens is it starts to deflate. And I know you've experienced this before if you have pulled from a cake. So here's one that's deflating. I've pulled from the center and I've used up a bunch of this yarn. And the yarn, if you don't have it contained somehow, or if it doesn't just sit in one spot, it will just get to be a tangled mess. And so yarn cozies are the best, and there's so many different kinds you can use. Like you could literally, like, I've seen people cut off a length of like skin colored stockings or tights or a sock or anything. I've seen somebody use socks before. But if you are wanting to use up leftover yarn for something, you can knit your own cozies, and they do the same thing. So these work really, really great. You can see it's holding onto my yarn still, even though it's getting a little like cupcakey here at the top. It still works. You can kind of stuff it back in. But these are the yarn cozies. So the yarn cozy light is a fingering weight version, and it's named light because one day I do plan to make different weight versions of these yarn cozies. I've had a really long hiatus from designing patterns, but I do plan to come back to it. So there's just a regular ribbed version, and you can also do it with self-striping. That's a really fun way to use up extra self-striping. There's also a version that looks like this that has, these are faux cables on here. So this is the size for 100 grams of fingering weight. It does fit like sport weight and DK. It's a little tight, but once you start to get bigger than that, like worsted weight, bulky weight, it's probably not gonna fit in here. It's really meant for fingering weight. And then I have the 50 gram sizes, which also has just like plain cabled and self-striping versions. These are great for if you're doing, like if you like to split your yarn for socks. I have 2 different colors here, but if you like to split into 50 gram skeins for socks, these are really, really great. Or if you like to rewind your yarn when you reuse it, it works out really, really well. And then the last one, these are also in the mini cozy pattern. These are for 20 grams or 10 grams. 10 grams fits in here too. It's just like really short. I don't think I have any. Do I have any? Hold on, I do think I have one I can show you. But these are they're fun to make. They're just so easy to make. Hold on. I think I have some in here. Oh, they make really good gifts. So this is the 20 gram size, but I have a 10 gram mini in here. So you can see there's like extra room, but it works just the same. It works out great. I don't always cake my mini skeins, but I do sometimes. So that's really, really nice. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying. I did the sock yarn cake cozy earlier this week and I absolutely love it. Oh yay, I'm so glad. Anne said, I was a tester for your cozy patterns and I just love them. Thank you, Anne. Christy says, I got so excited I entered even though I own all of the cozy patterns. That's totally fine. Chris said, I need cozies. I got one in a subscription box and thought of buying others. Yeah, they're great. You know, the store-bought versions work awesome, but these work just as well, and it's nice to have a way to like use up leftover yarns. I love that. Deflating cakes are the worst, I know. Janine says, my bestie made some cozies for my birthday a couple weeks ago and I love them. Oh, awesome. Hey, Maureen from the UK. Let's see. I love your project bag that you have spots for the yarn cozies to snap in. Oh, yes. I don't think I have one. Oh, yes, I do have one right here. I know, you guys, I have so many plans for all these patterns that I want to do and make, and I just need to do it. There's really no excuse. Uh-oh, I'm losing stitches here on a project. Ew, hold on. Let me pick those up really quickly. I plan to do crocheted versions of the cozies at some point. And in my float totes, I do have cozies and they snap in so that they stay in there. I like these too. I like functional knitting and crochet projects. Now I'm just making a giant mess. Okay, get all of this out of the way. Lee said I have some Secret Santa and gift swaps coming up, so I've looked at some of scraps to make some to put in with the swaps. Oh, good idea. Sorry, I went too far. The Cozy Light is an awesome and quick pattern that's really rewarding, fun to use, leftover sock yarn that you spend a fortune on. Exactly, and especially like if you want, oh yeah, you can just toss them there on the bed for me, Kent, and you won't be on the camera. Thank you. Kent brought me some of the other cozies. Perfect. Let's see. I bought the project bag with snap and cozies. Oh, cool. Very cool. Okay. Valerie said they are perfect for 10-gram row 1 subscription yarns. Oh, good idea. You just need to use a different color for the bottom. Okay, so not quite enough yarn. Yeah, because I think on the Yarn Cozy Light, you need a little more than 20 grams. It has been a little while since I designed the pattern, so I don't remember specifically, but it does say in the pattern. Your pup keeps looking over. Why are you disturbing me? Toaster. Hi, Toaster. Yeah, this is his room. This is his bed. Oh no, your dogs keep barking at Toaster. That's so funny. I love that. Okay, so I have a couple other cozy patterns too, and all of these are linked. So again, you do not need to use my patterns to participate in the Cozy Up Challenge. You can use any cozy patterns, especially if you're a crocheter, because none of these things I'm showing are crochet patterns. So use whatever cozy patterns you find. This is not going to look as good because I don't have a bottle, but this is the bottle cozy. And when you use the bottle cozy, make sure you put it on the bottle before opening the bottle because it's a nice tight fit and it stays on because it has this like curved bottom so it doesn't slide up and off. And then this one is the canned version. So the can and bottle cozies have little sporty stripes in them. If you want to like do team colors or something, these are great gifts for the guys in your life or the sports lovers in your life. You don't have to be a guy to love sports, of course, but if you have some leftover yarns, even tiny little bits, or team colors, whatever, you can do that. There's one more. There is a skinny can version. So if you are somebody who likes those like seltzer waters, I have a version for that as well, and it also comes in a bundle if you want to grab all three. So those are the Cozies. Introduction to Cozies. I love all of them. Does the coupon code for the Pigskin Party apply to the Yarn Cozy bundle? I believe the coupon code only applies to single patterns. I would have to check that because I set that up quite a while ago. Let me see if I can check that real quick. Hang on. Let's see. This is why we have our other screen. Promotions. Hold on, sorry. Coupon. You know what? I think Classic Cozy. I am going to add it right now because, oh, I see. You know what? I'm gonna add it. I didn't have it before. Usually I try to just do the single patterns. I think that worked. Let me test it real quick. Test. Yes, okay. So if you use the coupon code on Ravelry, Pigskin Party, you get 15% off, and it applies to all the Yarn Cozy single patterns and all the Can Cozy single patterns. And I just added the bundles in there. So yes, you can use that coupon code Pigskin Party for 15% off. Thank you for asking that. Where can I purchase the pattern? Oh, thank you, Maureen. So it is linked in the description box of this video or on my Ravelry page. Derek asked, can I loom knit the cozy? I am not actually sure. So this is Jen's make along. So I know that she has all the rules on her Ravelry group page, and I'm not sure loom knitting is included, but I bet it says in there. Okay. I came in a little late. Where can I find the coupon code, please? The coupon code is Pigskin Party. Pigskin Party. Yes. Okay, I think we should do a little tutorial. What do you think? I want to show the cast on for all the cozies start in a really similar fashion. So I want to show the cast on. And then I want to show, if we have time, I want to show the bind off. I do have a tutorial that is on YouTube already for the bind off, but I thought it would be fun to show it here live today. You know what? I might have to do a little adjusting here because my light has changed since I got set up. Of course, that's a little better, right? Although I do see lots of shadows. Okay, hang on real quick. I might have to make some noise. I gotta make some noise to put the shades down, so don't go away. I'm still here, hold on. Okay, that's one. One more, hold on. Still here, don't worry. All right. The sun is moving fast because it is almost winter, and the sun likes to set super, super early. Okay, how is that? That's a little bit better, right? Okay, so I want to show just a couple little tips for the Yarn Cozies. Again, these are paid patterns. I've got them all linked down below. Use the code PIGSKINPARTY to get 15% off. I'm not going to show the whole pattern because they are paid for patterns, but I do want to give you a couple tips. So we're going to talk about the cast on. All the cozies start down here at the bottom with a cast on, and then you increase, and then you work depending on the cozy. Like the bottle cozies have some shaping, the yarn cozies have some shaping here at the top, which is very important, so don't skip it because it helps the cozy like come in around the yarn. So if you don't do that, it might slip off a little bit easier. If you're making these too and you want to adjust the cozies, you can always like knit longer, you can increase more to make things wider. I mean, you can play around with it and do kind of what you want once you have the base of the pattern down. So let's talk about casting on. So I'm going to be looking at the 20-gram mini cozy today just because it has the fewest stitches. Here are some of those 20-gram mini yarn cozies. See, they're real small, and I know that isn't the best. I didn't pick the best colors here to show you. That dark green is dark, isn't it? There, that one's a little better. Here's a little mini cozy. And here are some that actually have yarn in them. But again, these only have 10 grams in them instead of 20, so they can fit 20. Or if you put 10, you'll just have like a little extra space here, but they work just fine and still hold on to them really well. So all the patterns begin with loosely, it says loosely cast on. Oops, sorry. That's my iPad because I got the pattern up on there. Loosely cast on X number of stitches. The mini yarn cozy that I'm going to work right now starts with 16 stitches. So whenever I need to loosely cast on, oh, by the way, I'm going to be using a 32-inch size 1 needle. This is what I use for socks. And I'm going to be doing magic loop. You'll have to have some kind of method to work in a small circumference in the round. The 9-inch needles will not work for the start of any of these. They will just barely work for the yarn cozy light because it's 100 grams. So for the biggest one, once you do your increases for the bottom, you should be able to switch over if you have an 8 or 9-inch circular needle. But I think the comfiest method is going to be magic loop, double pointed needles, or 2 circulars of some kind. So you can choose any of those. But when I cast on loosely, I like to bring my 2 needle tips together and hold them like they're 1 needle. And that will make automatically for a stretchy or cast on without having to grab another needle. And this is how I like to start all of my cuff down socks too. So let's see, here's my yarn today. This is Ruby and Roses. It is one of her, oh man, I got it in November. It's called like Cozy Sweater or something like that. I knit a pair of socks out of it, and now I have all this left over, so I definitely want to make, something else out of it. I've got plenty of yarn. So I'm going to start with 16 stitches, so I'm just going to measure out to my elbow for long tail. And I'm going to do a little long tail cast on. So that's my first tip, is you can double up your needles, hold them as 1 in order to have a loose cast on. So I'm just going to cast on my 16 stitches here real quick. This is a long tail cast on. If you're like, what kind of cast on is that? It's long tail. It's my favorite cast on. It is the quickest for me. And you don't need anything special for the yarn cozies. 10, 15, 16, perfect. You don't need any kind of special cast on for the yarn cozies, so whatever your preferred like generic cast on is great. Let's see, I can't wait to start on some cozies, but I have a Christmas present to finish first. Get the Christmas present done. These don't take very long, so you got plenty of time. Oh, Christy, you've already cast on. Yay, you're on round 6. That's awesome. Okay, so I have a teensy tiny amount of stitches here, and what I'm going to do, since I'm knitting with magic loop, is I'm going to split these in half. So what I have to do first is take out my extra needle, right? Because I just need 1 needle. And then I'm going to slide down to the cord and split in half. Since I've got 16 stitches, I'm going to split in half after 8, 5, 8. I like to count by tens. So I'm splitting in half for magic loop here. And then I'm going to bring both sets of stitches up onto the needles to get started. It can be very finicky to start out a project with such a tiny number of stitches. Once you do about 2 to 3 rounds though, it gets so much easier. So just get through those couple of rounds and it will feel a lot better. So here is what I have. I've got 16 total stitches because I'm making the tiniest 20-gram one. I've got 8 on each needle, and I'm making sure that my little cast on edge is going towards the middle so I know they're not twisted. And this isn't twisted, everything looks good. I've got 8 and 8, so I've got 16, and my yarn is coming from the back, okay? And then I'm just going to bring my yarn up through the middle and over the top so that it's out of the way. So I just threw it over the top of this back needle because when you join, you want it in the back because you're going to be knitting. The first round is just a knit round. So it's very, very teensy tiny to start out, but you got to just get through a couple rounds and it's so much easier. So what I always like to do when I start joining in the round, so see how I knit, no, this is very tiny. I knit my first stitch, I've placed my needle into the second stitch, and I have that gap, right, between the back set of stitches and the front. If I give it a snug little pull, I can close up that gap. So give it a snug little pull after the first stitch as you go into the second, and it will stay pulled up a little bit tighter. My computer's in the way of my hands right now. Okay, so this whole first round, I'm just gonna knit. And just remember, it'll get a little more comfy once you have a few rounds. What kind of method do y'all prefer for knitting a small circumference in the round? Do you do magic loop, double pointed needles, 2 circular needles? What's your favorite way to knit in the round? You can't do 9-inch circulars to start these because it's too small. All right, I'm gonna knit on the second half of the needle, or second half of the row, the second needle to finish this round. Working to finish your shawl, then casting on. Perfect. That is perfect. So when you're working, or when you're finishing your cozies, you're going to be submitting them into the Downseller Studio podcast group on Ravelry, and I have that linked down below too. So this is not hosted on Knitty Natty. It is hosted on the Downseller Studio, Boston Jen's group. Oh, because let's see. Itiana likes DPNs, Alicia likes magic loop, Jonna likes 2 circular needles, see some magic loop, 2 circs. I love it. Double pointed needles, I used to like double points, but then I learned magic loop and I love it. DPNs, but I want to get better at magic loop. Magic loop is nice because it's easy to travel with, I feel like. DPNs closely followed by magic loop. Sarah said, I tried double pointed needles once and hated it. So many ladders and it was so fiddly. Now, double pointed needles make it really, really hard, I think, to start small circumferences in the round. So if you're getting frustrated by those, you might want to try magic loop. That might make things a little bit easier. Double pointed needles. Oh, I forgot about those flyers, Hiya flyers. Yeah, or those little Addy ones. Those would work for this too, for sure. That's a great idea. I didn't think about that. So I've got 1 round completed, and again, all these cozies start the same, nice loose cast on, knit around, and then we're going to start some increases. So in this one, the increased rounds start with a knit 1, knit front and back. So I'm just going to show that for 1 needle, and then I'm going to take this away because I think after that it's pretty self-explanatory. And again, these are paid for patterns, so I'm not going to reveal everything and all the numbers, but we're going to do a knit 1, knit front and back, and repeat around. So first stitch, I am just going to knit, and then now I'm going to do a knit front and back. So if you haven't seen that before, it's a type of increase where we go into the stitch, wrap around, pull it through, but don't slide it off yet. Instead, we're going to I like to kind of swing my needle around to extend it, and then now we're going to go into the back of the very same stitch. So it's nice to have a sharp needle here because I'm going into the back of that same stitch that I went into originally. It's kind of red. And now I'm going to wrap around, pull through that one, and I've just made 2 stitches come out of one. It kind of looks like one stitch and like one purl when you do a knit front and back, and slide it off. So that's my knit front and back right there. This right here. Turns one stitch into 2. And then I'm going to do another plain knit one and then another knit front and back. So knit into the front of the stitch, pull it through, but don't slide it off. I like to kind of swing out because it kind of stretches things. And then I go into the back of that stitch and knit it. And if you are a continental knitter, I will do my absolute best. I have been practicing this actually because I'm doing color work in a sweater right now, and there are increases in both colors and they're knit front and back. So I've been practicing my continental knit front and backs, but it looks the same. So you're gonna knit into the stitch, but not pull it off. See how I'm still coming out of the same stitch? And then I'm gonna swing around and go into the back of that same stitch, grab it, and pull it off. So same thing there. Knit front and back. It looks like a knit one with like a teensy half purl, sort of. And then again, knit it, swing out, go into the back. And that's what it'll look like. And then you'll go and you'll repeat that on the other needle. So all of the patterns are started in this very similar way, where you do the increases, and then you'll do a few rounds, sometimes 1, sometimes 2 of plain knitting, and then increase again, all the way until you get to a certain point. And that creates this whole bottom part of the cozy. This one doesn't have a lot because it's teeny tiny. And then you'll do either ribbing or cables. I like the cable one because it's faux cables. So they're just twist stitches. They're super easy. I have a tutorial for that too in the pattern. You can even do stripes. And on the stripes, see how you can kind of almost see like, it looks like little dips almost? It's because I don't block the cozy. If I blocked the cozy, it would change. But when you are using a self-striping yarn, if you want to prevent the color change from showing up in the purl columns, see how you don't see the color change? You don't see like that little, you don't see like where the color changes cross each other. It's because in between each stripe, there's a round of just knitting, and that's explained in the pattern as well. So up to you. Some people don't care and they'll just work in rib. But if you do not like seeing that, you can follow the instructions for doing a round of plain knitting. Works for all kinds of things, self-striping. It's great. Okay, I think we should give away another pattern. So if you would like, let's do, oh, you love seeing me knit continental? Thanks, I try so hard. Oh, what shawl am I wearing? I'm wearing shawlography. I'm wearing my shawlography today. It's a little crooked, isn't it? Yeah, I got it all. Whatever, it's fine. It's asymmetrical right now, I guess. I'm wearing my shawlography. Okay, if you would like to win, let's do the bottle cozies this time. So I'm gonna do the bottle cozy bundle. If you would like to win the bottle cozy, can cozy, they come in a bundle too. They are called, where's my bundle? The Classic Cozy Bundle. Throw your Ravelry name here in the chat and I will randomly choose someone and I will give away that pattern. I would love to give you this pattern. Let's see. I want to show the bind off next. What can I do that on? Oh, I think we'll do it on this sock. No, maybe not that sock. I'm giving you a second to put your Ravelry name on here so we can choose you to give away the pattern. I wish I didn't have time to make a whole cozy and get it to the end. I feel like my knitting has been chaos lately. I'm just barely doing enough to get through Advent knitting every day. And I'm like, the cozy will have to wait until later in the month because me, oh my, it is a lot. It is a lot. Okay. All right, let's pick someone as a winner. You're gonna get the can and bottle cozy bundle. All right, closing my eyes here. Let's pick somebody random. Oh, I didn't go far enough, so hang on. Okay, perfect. I have a winner. Let me copy your name. I'm gonna send it to you right this very second so that you get it today. All right, the winner is Derek Elsner. I am sending you this pattern bundle right this second. You should see it in your inbox momentarily. Okay, we'll give away at least one more here in just a bit, but I would like to show the bind off. The Stretchy Icord bind off. You can use this. This is on all of the cozy patterns, but you can use it on other things too. And if you'll have any questions for me, cozy related or not, while I'm showing these things, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. I can multitask for the most part. Yeah, maybe I'll use this actually. Let me get my tangles untangled and bring the camera back. Congrats, Derek. Do I need to sign up for the Cozy Up Challenge? I would love to join the group. So I believe you do need to sign up for the Pigskin party, but you can join at any time. So all the details on that are going to be on the Downseller Studio podcast Ravelry group, and I've got that linked in my description box right now of this video, so you can go there and get signed up. But you can join at any time, and there's still like 3 months left in the larger make-along. The Cozy Up Challenge is just for December. But yes, I believe you would need to be a part of the Pigskin party in order to join. Let's see. Ravelry not working when I try to enter the coupon code. Which pattern are you trying to grab? Let's see what's happening. It should be Pigskin Party, one word. Looks like it's working on my end. So let me know what pattern. Maybe I just forgot to include something. The Pigskin Party is a make-along that's hosted by Jen of the Downseller Studio podcast, and the Cozy Up Challenge is a portion of the Pigskin Party, and I've got all the details linked down below. You got the pattern, yay! Congrats, Derek. All right, Carol, let me know what pattern you're trying to get, and I'll make sure it's included in the coupon settings. I've got it pulled up right here so I can check on it. Marissa asked, if I wanted to do a cozy in plain stockinette, what would you recommend? Should I maybe do an extra round or two of increases at the beginning? That's a good question. I really am not sure. When I make these patterns, I test all of the different scenarios that I have in the pattern, but we didn't test stockinette. I would almost want to say that you would want fewer stitches because the ribbing kind of stretches, either fewer or the same as the ribbed plain version. I don't think you'll need much extra because I think the stockinette will be pretty stretchy. Carol, the $6 pattern, they're all $6. So can you tell me the name of the pattern that you're trying to get? And I will figure out what I can do to fix that. How is Toaster coping with the cold New York City winter? Oh, he's fine. We haven't had super cold days yet. He hasn't even needed to wear his little booties outside yet because it hasn't been cold enough and there hasn't been snow or salt or anything yet. All right, I would love to show you one more tip today. And yes, this is a sock, but let's pretend it was a cozy. And we're going to do the Stretchy Icord bind off, which is at the end of all of the cozy patterns. It has one little extra tip in it. And an Icord bind off is just such a nice, clean finish for a pattern. There's several ways, look how bright that one is. There's several ways to do an Icord bind off. And the way that we do it here has an extra stitch, an extra yarn over to make it just a little bit stretchier. However, I've heard from some people that when they try to do the yarn over and the extra stitch, it actually makes it tighter for them. So if you try this bind off and you're like, this is not stretchy enough, I need to do something else, then by all means, do a different Icord bind off. That's more than fine. And there is a link to a proper tutorial of this in each of the patterns. Okay, let's see. Is the coupon code a one-time use only? Yes, it is a one-time use only. It is. Let me fix that though, because it doesn't have to be. Let's change it. Okay, now it's not. That might be what it is. Oh, Carol said I wasn't signed in. Okay, good. You weren't signed in, perfect. See, we're getting all sorts of stuff sorted out here. Kristen said, just joined as a member yesterday, so I'm looking forward to tonight's meeting. Yay, can't wait to meet you tonight, Kristen. If you are interested in joining the membership, it is open today until 5 p.m. Eastern time because we're having our welcome party at 7. So I had to close it a little bit early. But yeah, join the membership. We have so much fun. Okay, let's do this little Icord bind off. So most Icord bind offs start with a cast on because you need a couple extra stitches. So this one starts with 2 stitches to cast on, and I like to do the cable cast on method. So the way you cast on with the cable cast on method is you are going to insert your needle between the first and second stitch. So not into a stitch, but quite literally in between the stitches. So you're not actually in the first stitch or the second stitch, you're in between. And then you'll take your yarn, wrap it around and pull it through. Again, I'm in between the stitches, not in the stitches, and you will make a new stitch. And you're gonna place it back on the left-hand needle. I like to give it a twist towards the back, if you will, like I'm pushing it towards the back, pushing the front strand towards the back and placing it on the needle. And then, oops, don't let it fly off. There we go. And then you can make it even with your other stitches, but don't make it tight. Do not pull this tight or you're gonna have a time getting into the first stitch. So that's one. Now I'm gonna do one more, and this time I'm gonna go in between still the first and second stitch, but it's the new stitch that I've made and an old stitch. So there I am in between. Wrap around just like I'm knitting the stitch, pull it through, scooch it out to the side a little bit, and give it a little twist and put it on. And I have cable cast on 2 new stitches. You can use cable cast on like whenever you need to add new stitches on to the end of something or in the middle of something. A lot of times you'll do this at an underarm in a sweater, so that helps. And then we're gonna start the pattern repeat. Let me see. Margie said, I went up a needle size for the bind off in the pattern and that worked out perfectly. Ooh, great tip. Go up a needle size if you need to, and that will make it looser too. Hey, Jessica, thank you for saying that. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I know, these are such fun socks. I can't wait to get back to them once I finish up my Sockmas stuff. They'll probably be like, actually, you know what? They'll be kind of fun for New Year's socks, so they'll probably come back in January. Okay, so I've cast on my 2 stitches, and now I'm going to do this Icord bind off repeat. So it starts by just knitting 2. So I'm gonna knit 2 just like normal. Those first ones can be a little tight because they're cable cast on. And then the next one I'm going to slip knitwise. So I'm gonna go into the stitch like I'm knitting and slip it without knitting it. Then here's the extra thing. I am going to do a yarn over. So I'm gonna bring my yarn in between the needles and over to create a yarn over. Since I'm knitting English style, I really don't need to do anything else yet, because as I knit the next stitch, it's going to bring my yarn over the needle. So I did a yarn over, now I'm going to knit one. Keep that yarn over nice and loose if you can. Now here's the part that I know some people find a little finicky and might not like about this, but this is what gives it a stretchier bind off for me. So what we're going to do next is the stitch we slipped, which conveniently is a different color, it's the pink one, and then the yarn over. We're going to take both the stitch we slipped and the yarn over and pass them over the stitch we just created like a bind off. So I like to take my left hand needle, go into the front of both that yarn over. So I'm into the front of the yarn over and the slip stitch, okay? And I'm going to bring them up, over, and off the needle, like so. Looks like I split that. Hold on, I want to do that again. Hold on. This yarn is a little fluffy, so it's easy to split. See, and then I dropped a needle, or dropped a stitch. Dropped a needle. Beep, 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 coming backwards. Okay, back to where I was. Okay, so I'm gonna lift the slip stitch and the yarn over, up, over, and off. And I have 3 stitches. And then these 3 stitches, we're going to return them back to the left-hand needle. So just slide them either one at a time or all 3 together. You know how Stephen West, he slides all 3 of them together. I can't do that. I have to do one at a time. I cannot do that. But slip them back to the left needle, and now we're going to repeat. So here's the repeat. It's knit 2. So knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, make a yarn over, and then knit 1. Keep it nice and loose. I really like that tip of going up a needle size. That's a great idea. Now, not these first 2 stitches, but these 2, the slipped one and the yarn over. We're going to get them with our needle and lift them up, over that stitch we just knitted, and off. And that yarn over, it just gives us a little extra room, because what the yarn over does is when it gets slipped off, the yarn over like tightens up and then it goes like this around the stitch, and it allows the slip stitch that we made to loosen. It's kind of a weird concept, but it works. Let's do this continental. Hold on, I got a spam call coming in. Hang up on that. Okay, let me give this a little try, continental here, for my continental knitters. All right, same thing, we're gonna knit 2. You know what? I have to knit the first one English style, I'm sorry. I can never start a row with continental knit. So knit 2, there we go. 2 knit stitches, slip 1 knitwise, yarn over. See, for your continental knitters, yarn over, easy peasy, knit 1. And then you're gonna slip the yarn over and the slipped stitch up, over, and off. And then slide back. That's it. Why can I never do that first stitch continental? It's so goofy. Okay. Knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, yarn over, knit 1, and then slip the slip stitch and yarn over together, up, over, and off. And again, that yarn over tightens and allows the slip stitch to loosen, and that's what gives us an extra stretch. So you can see my baby Icord is starting to form, and this is what it will look like when you finish. Such a nice finish. You can do it in a different color if you want. That makes it look really, really fun. I love it. All right, let me catch up. Let's see. Chris, you said, I love the cable cast on. It's such a good cast on, right? Patricia, you left. What did you miss? Yes, we're still on. We're gonna wrap up here in a second because I've shown the two tips I wanted to share with you, but I'm gonna give away one more pattern before we wrap up too. Let's see. Maureen says, I make items for the neonatal unit at my local hospital, and these yarn cozies would be ideal for the babies in the incubators. Oh, okay, great. That's awesome. I love that idea. Okay, let's give away one more pattern. I'm going to give away the Yarn Cozy bundle, which includes the Yarn Cozy Light and the mini Yarn Cozy. And I'm going to give it away to one person here real quick. So throw your Ravelry name into the chat and you might be the lucky winner on this Happy Friday. And if you're joining in just now, the Cozy Up Challenge is part of the Pigskin Party, which is run by Boston Jen of the Downseller Studio podcast. And you'll have to join in through her Ravelry group. So I've got that all linked down below, all the information if you want to join in. It's a super fun make along and it goes on past December. It goes through February, so it's definitely not too late to join. So definitely join in and work on some cozies throughout the month of December for this bonus challenge. I'll get you some extra points. The good thing about the Pigskin Party is even if you're joining now, you can add projects that you've started and finished between the start of the Pigskin Party, which was again either end of August or early September. You can add all of those in like after the fact. You don't have to just start with projects from now. So add those in. All right, let's choose one more winner. Thank you all for being here with me today. This was a lot of fun. Okay, closing my eyes to get all of the random winners up on the screen. Okay, perfect. All right. And perfect. Let me go ahead and copy your username here. The winner is, it is, okay. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if I am going to be saying this correctly. So once I say your name, if you want to let me know how to say it correctly, please do. But from what I can read phonetically, it is, I think, Phasia or Phaya Floor. Let me know how to say it correctly, but I am sending you the pattern regardless. Congratulations. Very happy to have these patterns to give away. These have been just one of the most popular patterns that I have designed, and it's so cool to see people use them and love them so much. Christy said, I have to ask, what are those metal poles on either side of the bed? They're actually lamps. They're actually lamps. Here, I'll turn one on. We don't use them very often because they're not very bright. Lamps. So here in New York City, most apartments don't have overhead lighting in the bedroom or living room. So we do not have any overhead lighting, so we use the lamps. That's about it. It kind of stinks once it gets dark, especially since it gets dark at 4 o'clock. It's not super great. Okay, perfect. I'm looking to see if the winner is telling me how to say your name correctly. The coupon code is Pigskin Party. Pigskin Party. Might need to add that into my, hold on. Add that in here to, uh-oh. It looks like it just froze for a second. I hope it didn't actually freeze. I will add that into the description box in a second. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep knitting on those cozies. Tag me and tag Boston Jen 1 as you're working on your Cozy Up challenge. I want to see your cozies. I'm very excited. I'll add the coupon code in the description box too. But all the cozy patterns are down there. All the information about the Pigskin Party and Cozy Up Challenge is linked down there. So go for it. I was very close. Okay, good. Good. That was not a stalkerish question. I actually get that question about these lamps a lot, so you're totally fine. Totally fine. Toaster, say bye. Oh, lovely. Bye for me and Toaster. Have a wonderful weekend and happy Friday. And I will see all of y'all again soon. Bye, everybody.